Hey guys, we're going to be looking at how to actually carry out an evaluation process in Revalume. After you guys have logged in, this is kind of the page that you will see. And this landing page is actually also the create evaluation page. And so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create an evaluation. So we're going to create an evaluation for ourselves, our peers, and our mentor. And then afterwards, we're going to send out the forms, and the users will be notified via email. And then afterwards, we can complete the evaluation, and then we finally can reflect on the evaluation. And so the first step here is we're going to create a self-evaluation. And the way you do so is you click on this plus button. This plus button will have existing templates or new form. I've gone ahead and used the same self-evaluation as your Google Forms. And so we have capstone self-evaluation here. We're going to click it. And it's going to show us a preview of what it's going to look like when we fill it out. And so there's a couple things we need to change. We're going to click edit. So maybe we should attach our name in front of this capstone self-evaluation. And we have to change this evaluation name. This evaluation name should be the corresponding to the group that we're in, and kind of a unique feature about this evaluation. So for example, I'm in the admin group. We're going to say this is a Q1 review. So I'm going to call this evaluation name admin Q1. So this is a self-evaluation period. We don't have to worry about that now. And you can change, alter any existing questions. Usually you should leave those untouched, but if you want to add 1 or 2 questions, you guys can do so here. Let's say we want to add a multiple choice. What is my favorite ice cream? This is just for dumbbells purposes, so you probably shouldn't add this in your actual evaluation. Mint vanilla, because this has nothing to do with the evaluation. Once we're done, we can preview it again with the new question added. As you can see here, click Save Form. It's going to redirect us to the home page. And as you can see, for admin 1's evaluation, we have our self-evaluation created. We can view it, we can delete it, but it's created here. Next, we're going to create the peer evaluation. Again, we're going to use the existing template because we already have your previous peer evaluation. So we're going to click capstone peer evaluation. This is again the preview, but again we have to alter the title name and the evaluation name. So it's going to be the same evaluation name as all the rest of the forms, so that we know that this form belongs in this evaluation group. Again, this is a peer form. We're not going to change any of these, and you guys can add again 1 or 2 questions, and then click Save Form. And so we then have our self-evaluation and our peer evaluation created. Now finally, we want to create the mentor evaluation. And since you guys have not done any mentor evaluation before, and I want to test out this functionality, we're going to have to create our own form. And so here is the example of a default template for the form. We're going to call this Terrence Capstone Mentor Evaluation. Then the evaluation group name is going to be admin Q1 again. We're going to have to change the question type here to mentor. And let's say, what do you want David Jansen to tell us? Professor Jansen wants to tell us what is our best trait? This is going to be a multiple choice question. Let's do a drop down answer. Leadership, communication, or work ethics. Let's preview it. Cool. And then we save the form. It's going to direct us to the home page. Now, after we have created the forms, we're ready for the evaluation process. So what we're going to do here is we're going to add our reviewers. Since I'm in the admin group, I'm going to choose the admin group. And so in the admin group, I have a peer. This is another email of mine. And I'm going to send an email to David S. Jansen. And you guys all have to do this. Assign him as the mentor by clicking this right here. If you guys want to add additional users that weren't added into the group, this is where you do so as well. You just assign them as peer. So once we have everyone and our mailing list set up, we click OK. And now our evaluation has started. And the way you view your evaluations, you click your Evaluate tab, and then it'll show all the evaluations in progress. And so for Admin 1, Q1, for Terrence only, this is me, we have our self form, our peer form, and our mentor form. And so what's shown here is kind of the status of the evaluation. We have our to-dos for our own form that we have to complete. We have one peer that this email has to complete, and one mentor form that this email has to complete. Once they're completed, they'll show a check mark. And if it's been a while since it's been a while and they still haven't completed the form, you can remind them, send them a reminder email. This is the template up here. And so we're going to have to complete our own form. And in this form, when you evaluate your own form, you have a couple options here. So you can see this is the form that we created for ourselves to complete. The one good thing about Revalume, and actually one of the separating factors about Revalume, is that you have the option of using third-party applications to help enhance your form completion process. So you have the calendar, Google Calendar app. You can enter in, let's say, you want to see what you did this week. Oops. You can see kind of what you've done this week, how many hours you spent on it, number of occurrences. These are NLP. Credit to John Miranda for doing this, as well as Jira. So Jira is you guys can look up specific issues. One thing to keep in mind, this pop-up isn't going to pop up if you're on a Chrome browser. You have to enable pop-up. It'll pop up with like that pop-up blocker. You guys have to make sure to allow that pop-up to happen. And once you allow that pop-up to happen, you click it again, come up with the screen. It'll ask you to log in and then ask you to allow for this application. And once we allow it, this is actually something that is wrong with Jira's API. Sometimes you have to retry it. So let's retry it. Cool. And so again, this is beyond my control. Sometimes there's internal authentication problems with Jira. So if you ever pop up with an internal error, just try it a couple more times. It'll even out eventually. So this is the kind of the project group you're in. You select the project group, and then you select the time and date. It'll pop up with the issues, your group members, kind of the hours spent on specific issues, and just some NLP, natural language processing, that John Miranda did to make Jira make sense when you look at it really quickly. You guys can try it out. It'll take a little bit. Jira server is a little bit slow, so keep that in mind when you use it. And once you loaded everything up. It's simple. It'll save it when you click it again, so that you don't have to reload it every single time. And let's say complete the forms. Favorite ice cream is vanilla. Sure. Submit it. Again, it'll redirect you to the home page. And if we look at the Evaluate tab, our form has been completed. And now it's kind of the waiting game. So we're going to be waiting for our peers to complete our forms, as well as the mentor to complete our forms. Once the mentor, the peer, and the entire evaluation is done, essentially the self, peer, and mentor forms are filled out, it'll be reflected on the Reflect tab right here. And just to show what happens when you send out the evaluations, so when you add the reviewers and you start the evaluation process, you'll receive an email. It'll say, this email has sent it to you via revalume.club. This is the link to the form that you should be filling out. I've already filled it out, but it'll still show up anyway, so this is the form that we've sent out to ourselves. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. But otherwise, happy evaluation.